I'm extremely happy to be here for the Anambra State edition of the Micro and Small and Medium Enterprises Clinic. This is my first visit to the state since Governor Willie Obiano was re-elected for a second term in office. In the course of the past 3 years, he and I have developed a friendship based on our mutual belief that government must be about total commitment for the bettering of the lives of people. And so I take this opportunity to extend my sincere and heartfelt congratulations to you, Your Excellency, and wish you an even more successful second tenure. Anambra State is well recognized across the country as a leading manufacturing center, which is why in one of my previous visits, I devoted time to visiting various manufacturing firms in the state, including notably in ONITSHA here and in Nnewi, these are zones here which have carved a niche for themselves as industrial hubs, not just industrial hubs in Anambra State, but industrial hubs in Nigeria. Of course, Anambra State is also the home of commerce. The ONITSHA market has been legendary for a very long time, given its size and its vibrancy, and a tribute to the entrepreneurial spirit and hard work and dynamism of the people of this great state. Let me say that the federal government is committed to working with the Anambra State Government to create a better life for all who live, work, and carry out their businesses here. In the past 3 years, we have demonstrated an abiding commitment to facilitating genuine efforts by all states of the Federation to attract investment, to diversify their economic base, and deliver lasting prosperity to their people. So the holding of this MSME clinic here today is further demonstration of that commitment. It's of course well known that MSMEs have tended to be neglected in the country over the years. This is partly as a result of competing priorities and a tendency sometimes to discount the real contributions of MSMEs to the national economy. As individual units, MSMEs may be small, but together they account for up to 50% of gross domestic product and over 80% of the Nigerian labor force. It therefore follows that they are of decisive importance in our national economy. This is more so now that it has become inevitable for us to look inwards so as to, and I quote the President here, to grow what we eat and consume what we make. The MSME clinics were conceived in this context, and they are designed to bring regulatory agencies whose work affects the business experience of small businesses nearer to them. This will enable the small businesses and medium businesses to bring their business problems to the regulatory agencies for solution outside the formal and sometimes intimidating offices of these agencies. Of course, having all the agencies in one location at the same time, the MSMEs have the opportunity of meeting with those regulatory agencies without the travel time and the cost of going to the different agencies at their various locations. So the small businesses have a unique opportunity today, and in fact over the past 2 days. And these clinics that we've been organizing over the past few months have enabled the regulatory agencies themselves gain a better understanding of the difficulties that small businesses face. And this has caused them to take steps to remedy the situation where required. For instance, several agencies have reduced the cost and timelines for service delivery to small businesses. Since the launch of the program last year, it's been easier for small businesses to access funds because, for example, the Bank of Industry, the Development Bank of Nigeria, and Nexim Bank have used the opportunity of the MSME clinics to expose their products and increase their loans to small businesses. NAFDAC has made it easier to do business by reducing the cost and waiting time for product registration for small businesses. What used to take 8 months now takes about 3 months. On its part, the Corporate Affairs Commission now registers businesses within 48 hours and also carry out registration during clinics at reduced prices. So we take the Corporate Affairs Commission, we move the Corporate Affairs Commission around so that they're able to see for themselves what difficulties people go through in registering businesses. This is what has led us to correct the time it takes to register businesses in Nigeria. And it's a constant check. Just last week, I was on the phone with the director responsible for registration of companies and letting him understand some of the problems that people were experiencing. We want to be extremely hands-on on business regulation in Nigeria so that small businesses can have the very best service from our regulatory agencies. A regulatory agency must not be an obstacle. They must be facilitators of business. The Nigerian Export Promotion Council and the Standards Organization of Nigeria have both slashed their charges on various products and services just to support small and medium-scale enterprises. To foster continuity after the clinics, at least 5 state governments have set up one-stop shops that bring all the relevant agencies together in one place so as to enable small businesses access their services on an ongoing basis with relative ease. Another idea emerging from the clinics is the establishment of shared facilities for MSMEs based on partnerships between the federal government and interested states. The Bank of Industry, and you will see that the Bank of Industry is one of the major facilitators of all of these services. The idea is that the MSMEs that do not have the financial capacity to buy their own equipment should be able to walk into a fully equipped cluster-style facility and pay a reasonable amount to use such equipment. Where possible, the facility would have already been certified by relevant agencies. Another thing that has been introduced in the course of implementing the MSME clinics is the use of the clinics as a platform for widening the reach of the Government Enterprise and Empowerment Program, GEEP. This is our microcredit facility that we give to several businesses, and His Excellency the Governor has already told us how many already are benefiting from some of those microcredits. Governor Willie Obiano is, of course, already working hard to unlock the potential of MSMEs in the state through the Anambra State Small Business Agency, ASBA. I therefore expect that the agency will also consider taking forward some of the ideas and processes that have emerged from the clinics, such as, of course, the establishment of the one-stop shop here in Anambra State, a one-stop shop which has all of the different regulatory agencies, which has NAFDAC, SON, CAC, and some of the other regulatory agencies in one place, one facility here. And of course, common facilities for business clusters. I know that ASBA is already doing very excellent work on clusters, and I've seen some of the examples as we looked around the stalls. So it's very, very obvious that the cluster style of promoting small businesses is already thriving here. And we certainly will support you to create more clusters so that our people can do better work. In rounding up, let me state that the partnership between the federal government and Anambra State is not limited to just national MSME clinics. The state, as you have heard, is also benefiting and collaborating with us on the National Homegrown School Feeding Program. And of course, as you've heard, the government is already feeding, the federal government, in collaboration with the state government, is already feeding over 103,000 school children, engaging almost 1,004 cooks in several schools, over 1,000, I believe over 1,600 schools across Anambra State. Empower, as you've seen, and there's so many Empower beneficiaries here, is also working with young graduates and creating opportunities for young graduates to be engaged. But this is not, when you look at what we're trying to do with Empower, we're trying to refine the Empower program such that it is not just about earning a small amount of money every month or teaching or agro-build. We want to ensure that each MPOWER beneficiary is able to stand on his own in the future. That each MPOWER beneficiary learns entrepreneurial skills, learns the skills that will enable you to become business persons or to become professionals on your own. And so we're going to support the MPOWER scheme as much as we can, and we're bringing several others, on board. Already we are pre-selected for Anambra State alone, about 11,039 new entrants to the MPOWER scheme, and we hope that this second batch will be launched very, very shortly. The GEEP money, market money is not left out, as there are here in Anambra State about 3,877 beneficiaries of the scheme from this state alone. And we intend to continue to expand that number, to increase that number, so that more traders, more artisans can benefit from the scheme. Finally, let me say that the federal government is a government for all Nigerians, and we shall continue to work hard to ensure peace and progress all around the country in partnership with state governments. After all, the progress of our states is the progress of Nigeria. Indeed, Anambra State progress is Nigeria's progress, and I'm very, very happy to see that there is incremental progress every time that I visit this state. We see new things happening, we see much more progress, and we see peace. So again, I'd like to thank Governor Willie Obiano for his warm hospitality, and the good people of Anambra State for always being so warm and always being so welcoming. God bless Anambra State. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.